everyone.
Hello and welcome back.
And welcome to Kirsty Briney's Comfort Zone. I just called us Kirsty Briney.
Kirsty
Not
Briney's
Kirsty and
Comfort
Briney.
Zone.
We've reached our final form now. We
I'm
finally
Kirsty
combined.
Briney and so is she.
And together, this is the Comfort Zone.
Welcome.
But despite the fact that our brains have now merged into one, we're not going to dive into our brain today. No, we have fresh brain.
We have a guest.
We do have a guest, so you may know this guest from such things as just everything. Like to be honest, the new guest is frustratingly talented and very good at everything.
Oh,
and
you guys.
we're already angry about him now. So
He's gone. He's
let's
out.
get him
Yeah,
on.
we've changed our mind. We don't want a guest.
God damn this guy!
Don't want that fresh brain. Get him out of here.
It's too fresh. We need our old dirty, rotting brains. But welcome to Comfort Zone, Tom Bates.
Hello, it's me, fresh brain Tommy B.
Yay.
Thank you for that lovely intro, both. It was very nice.
Oh, you're very welcome.
You feel scared or flattered?
Am I scared or flattered, did you say?
Yeah. Where on the scale are you?
I would say a healthy mix of both. I think being flattered only works if there's an edge of scaredness to it. So I'm like, yes, feeling the perfect balance right now of totally flattered and totally terrified.
Oh,
Splattered.
that's good.
I'm splattered.
Flared.
Totally and utterly splattered. Thank you.
Perfect.
So a little while ago, you mentioned that you had a dream, and it was a chaotic dream, an adventure, a multi-layered cake of dream cake.
Like an onion.
It was an oniony dream cake, and it was one of those ones which I was slightly ill. It happened. Do you want me to just dive in, or is this? How do you want me to do it? Do you want me to just dive straight into it?
Well, before we jump in,
Yeah.
like, how do you sleep at night? No, how do you do you normally have dreams, or is this quite a rarity for you?
I definitely am a dreamer. I do dream. A lot of the time it's not like crazy. A lot of the time I have dreams where I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, thank God that was a dream because I just destroyed my life.
Oh no,
you know,
jeez.
things will happen where it's like
Yeah.
anxious. Oh my God,
Yes.
how did I do that? And I'm relieved to be awake.
Yeah.
But often I don't remember them. Obviously, I think if I'd write them down, I would. But yeah, I wouldn't say like. So what I had was something coming onto this podcast. I was thinking about dreams, you know, and I was like, in my past, I have some dreams that stick out in my head from when I was a kid.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
I have like these. I guess they're recurring dreams, but I used to think of them as like finishing dreams because when I was a kid, I would have any old random dream, and then it would always finish with like one or two of the same mini dream.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, I used to get that.
No
yeah.
way, really. So mine were like, I had a pretty boring, well, they were both pretty boring, but like it would be, I'm running around a garden centre. So I'm like maybe 6 years old in these dreams. So I'm running around like a garden centre, and you know, like those sort of flower beds, it's like a wooden like flower bed, little
Yeah.
Yeah,
thing. It's
yeah, I
like
know what you mean.
Yeah, sectioned off flower bed. But instead of flowers in there, there's water and sharks. So I'm running between these.
Oh my God.
There's loads of them, and I'm running between them, and the sharks are like jumping out like that. And then the other one, which I've tried to explain to people before, and no one's quite understood. So I'd be intrigued to know if anyone has something similar because it sounds bizarre, but like in my dream, I'm looking down through some trees at like a dirt road, and so I'm looking down at it, and on that road are these people who are like meaty balloon people. They're
Oh
like,
my God.
they're like inflated, so there's almost like no detail to them, but they've got no hands, they're just like rounded. So they're all these big balloon-like people, and there's maybe like 4 of them in like a square, and between them they're all holding this like frame. So they're all supporting this frame, like a wooden square frame, but the frame is made of incredibly thin wood, and it's the feeling or the sensation of the thin wood touching the meaty balloon hand that literally sends
my
shivers up my
gosh.
spine, and I don't
Oh
know
my
what it is.
god, I can imagine. Oh my god, that's so weird.
That's so specific.
The weirdest thing was I had that dream as a kid, and then when I was maybe 15, I explained it to my mum, and she was like, I have that dream as well.
What?
Oh my
And
god.
it's the first time I'd spoken to her about it. She used to have that dream when she was a kid.
No.
So I was like, does this pass through? Is this a genetic dream?
that is so
That is so
bizarre.
strange.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's so odd.
Sorry, so man, that
love
those are my
that.
two like, they cap off my childhood dreams.
Yeah.
See, I, for a second, thought I was getting slightly freaked out because my recurring wake up dream when I was a child was that I was running around a school playground, and that we used to have in our old school playground, the trees were all in squares, in like raised beds in squares.
Oh,
And
right.
like for a second I thought, oh my gosh, he used to have the same dream as me. That's really weird.
God.
But mine wasn't sharks. Mine was that I would run along and I would trip over, and then I would wake up with like a hypnic jerk, when you like wake
yeah.
up
Yeah.
and it's like you've just fallen on your bed. And that would be my little wake up dream. But I did used to think that a shark lived under my bed when I was a child. So
Really?
there was
How does
that.
a land shark?
No, just I saw Jaws and I thought Jaws lives under my bed, and my dad's way of comforting me was saying, if he was under your bed, he would have died. And then that became like, now there's a zombie shark under my
no.
bed, and that's
Shark, oh no.
scarier.
I used to be scared of tarantulas crawling up my quilt, like up my duvet when I was a kid. So I had to sleep with the duvet folded underneath my feet. Otherwise, tarantulas
I
would
have to do
crawl.
that because of snakes.
Honestly, I'm kind of like that now.
That's just happened recently.
Yeah.
You've had a recent fear of tarantulas crawling up you.
Well, it's more sort of spiders. The thought of spiders being around my bed is always something that I think of.
Honestly, the spider in the night crawling around my face and ear holes is not one for me.
Yeah.
What's the thing about how you don't you like eat 7.5 spiders?
Yes, I don't want to think about that.
Specifically.
Yeah.
A night.
It's not a
I can't
night.
remember the exact.
You're waking up just like stuffed. Oh my God, I couldn't eat
absolutely
another
full of
bite.
them.
Yeah.
I can't finish that last half a spider. Jeez.
Yeah.
I can't remember the statistic. I don't think it's true because I think spiders are scared of damp spaces.
Yeah,
And, like,
spiders wouldn't
my
go anywhere
mouth
near
is
your mouth.
Damp.
They might go near
Yeah.
your ear hole though, like an ear hole.
Yeah,
is,
maybe.
but they get stuck in there.
Oh, that's worse.
But they couldn't get into your
What if we're
brain.
actually being powered by spiders right now?
The whole humanity is powered by spiders and we just didn't know it.
Yeah, spiders that crawled into your head. That's why we invented the web.
Yeah, that's great. That, Bryony, well done. That was great.
It's like Ratatouille, but just spiders.
But inside your skull.
Yeah.
They've always wondered why humans sleep. No one's really sure why we sleep, and maybe it's to let the spiders into our brain.
Yeah, it's they're changing shifts. They
Maybe.
can't be in there all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They need to switch out.
Maybe that's why sometimes you wake up in a bad mood or something because you're just like, oh, I've got the grumpy spiders.
Or, oh, I didn't have enough spiders last night. I'm in a right mood. Yeah.
I've not got enough energy for the day.
Yeah.
Need that extra half a spider.
Have a 7 spider start to your day. Yeah.
Delicious. But no, that's
I remember.
Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh no, you go. You go.
I was just gonna say that's so interesting that you and your mum shared a dream.
Yeah.
It's not quite to the same extreme because your dream is very like I don't know, visceral, and like the thought of the woods and the exposed flesh is very like bleh. But me and my mum always had similar dreams as well, but ours was just really simple. It was stuff like losing jewelry. Like we've talked a lot, Bryony, about how I like have dreams where I've lost jewelry or I need to collect it up and stuff.
Right.
And
She
my
always
mum
goes to like gift
always
shops
does.
in her dreams.
I do.
And trinkets.
I love
and-
gift shops.
You dream about gift shops. You love them
Yeah,
that
yeah,
much.
yeah. I love them.
Yeah.
And I
my
just
God.
want to get all of the cool stuff from every gift shop in my dreams.
When I was a kid, the gift shop used to be the best bit of any trip to anywhere. That was
Oh,
what
it
I was
still
most
is.
excited about. So
It
you're right.
still
Yeah.
is.
Well, you dream about it. You would say that. You gift shop.
I'm
gift shop
biased.
lover.
I love a gift shop, me.
It used to be like, it's your reward for putting up with education.
Exactly.
Honestly, you're so right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember I went on a trip when I was at school. We went on an art trip. So we went to London for 2 days and we went to every single gallery. And I was like, right, I'm going to buy something cool from every gift shop.
Oh my God.
I can't wait. That was my goal. Not learning, not finding good art. It was gift shops. And it was great.
The best gift shop I ever went to. Have you ever been to the Cadbury World gift shop?
Yes, I have. Oh my God. I bought a kilogram bar of dairy milk from the
Yes.
Cadbury gift shop.
Because not only is it not educational, the whole trip of Cadbury World, you're just, well, at least when I went, I don't know if it's the same now, when I was a kid, they would be handing you chocolate bars at every door. So you'd go
They
through the
would,
Cadbury
yep.
World tour and you'd come out with an armful of like Cadbury's chocolate. And
Mm-hmm.
then you'd get to the gift shop and there'd just be more chocolate. And I don't know if it's true, but I remember it being like cheaper because they didn't have to pay for, I don't know, transport or something.
Yeah,
So it's like
probably.
cheap chocolate and there's just tons of it. And that was one of the happiest days of my life.
I remember they had a room in Cadbury World as well where they had sweets all over the wall. They gave you a little cup, you picked your sweets, and then they had a tap which just leaked out melting chocolate. So you could get whatever sweets you want and just put a big pile of melted dairy milk on top and they'd give you a little spoon.
What?
It was
What?
great. Yeah,
I didn't do that bit.
I don't know if it's there anymore, but when I went, they had that. And in theory, it sounds great, but when you're sitting there like nem 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 with dairy milk melted in your mouth, it's not great.
I could deal with it. I could deal with that, honestly. That sounds like a dream come true.
It was
See, I
very
feel
cool.
shortchanged now because over the weekend I went to the Roman baths in Bath and I got to drink bath water and that's not near as exciting.
Drinking bathwater. Lovely weekend.
Delicious.
Yum, yum. It was warm as well.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bathwater would be warm, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's straight from a hot spring,
Used bath.
Ooh.
Lovely.
straight from the baths of Romans.
I think I'd rather have dairy milk.
Yes.
You've reminded me. I was looking, as I often do, I was looking at a map yesterday for nice places to visit, but also slightly for funny names. And there's a place in Keynsham in Bristol called the Chocolate Quarter Retirement Homes. And for ages, I was trying to work out if it's where people who used to work in chocolate factories retired to, or if it's unrelated to anything. But you just reminded me of it.
The chocolate quarter, as in like, you have the jewelry quarter. I don't know if, is that just a Birmingham thing? I'm originally from Birmingham. So you have like the jewelry
Well,
quarter.
isn't like all Cadbury and what's it called? Bourneville.
Bourneville,
that's
yeah.
all Midlands, isn't it?
Yes, down by me, the Cadbury's factory. That's where I'm from.
And
is
they were
the Cadbury World.
really. You were born in Cadbury World.
Oh my
I
God.
was born, I emerged out of a vat of chocolate.
Oh my gosh!
That's why I'm so obsessed. I'm obsessed with chocolate. It's my
I
weakness.
think you're going to say that's why I'm so sweet.
That's why I'm so sweet. And
That
I've got
too,
no
that
teeth.
too.
So I'm sweet and I have no teeth left.
His teeth are made of hazelnuts.
Ooh.
Very crumbly. They crumble quite easily.
Oh, well, speaking of crumbling teeth, we're here to talk about dreams.
Yes.
So, would you like to do a dramatic retelling of your dream? It doesn't have to be
course.
dramatic. You can just read it.
Bryony, it will be dramatic.
It better be dramatic.
There's not like a huge amount of drama, but it is like weird. So shall I set the scene?
Yes.
Christmas Day 2022. I'm at home with my family. And I am feeling not too well. I know, I'm a bit ill. There was a bit of something going around the office before we broke up for Christmas, and I thought I managed to dodge it, but it worked its way in slowly. I didn't get the full brunt of it, but I had like a low level kind of grogginess. So it got to maybe like 2 o'clock-ish, I think it was, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and have a quick lie down, and ended up going to sleep. And this dream that I'm about to say, that I'm about to explain, is actually the end of a much longer dream that I have no memory of. So I remember loads of things happening. I remember something happening in a house. I leave a house, I walk outside, and I go into a smaller house, and there's a couple of friends in there, and we're somehow working on the house. And this is where my memory kicks in, at least my very clear memory of what happened. Shall I begin?
Please do.
I'm sitting comfortably.
Me too.
Wonderful. So, I was in a small house with two friends. I can't remember what we were doing, but I heard a knocking on the walls. There's a knocking from the walls, and I couldn't figure out where the knocking was coming from because it didn't seem like there was anyone on the other side of the wall that was being knocked. So I could look out and I could see there's no one there. So the knocking is coming from the inside of the walls. I'm like, what's going on? So I go to the front door, and then I turn around and I see a dead stranger lying in the hallway. But every time I blink or turn away, the body is in another weird position and angle, moving closer towards me.
Oh no!
There's then the body is then suddenly replaced by one of my friends that was in the dream before. So now the friend is lying dead on the floor, and then a terrifying roaring starts, like from all around me, just like the loudest roar. And then I go back and forth between going to sort of deciding whether to go and find my other friend or to run off. And eventually, but that getting my other friend would mean running towards the dead body. So I'm like, the roaring gets so loud that I run out of the door. I go outside, and as I'm running, my other friend, emerges from around the corner, but I can't see his head. It's just his naked body folding out unnaturally from the feet up. Around the corner until he's like, his body is horizontally hanging at a crooked angle, but I can't see his head still. So then the roaring now turns into roaring with screaming on top of it. So it's this roaring scream. So I run into my house, and it's this big old house in the middle of a city. My bedroom is up on the roof, like outside on the roof. So I go up, and I'm very scared because all of this stuff's just happened. And I'm like, I just need to get into bed really quickly. So I put my pajamas on over my clothes, and then I go to bed. Have I still got you? Are you still with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm invested.
In the dream that I have in the dream, I don't remember what the dream is, but it's the scariest nightmare I've ever had.
Oh,
and
God.
so it's so scary that I wake up from the dream, within the dream, so I'm still dreaming, but I've woken up from the dream, and my pillow is drenched in sweat to the point that it is just like a puddle of sweat.
Yeah.
I then stand up, I reach into my ears, and I pull out little black balls from each ear hole. And then I look at my fingers, and all my fingers are stained inky black.
Oh my God.
And then I want to close the windows in the house, because I'm on the roof right now. But I'm really scared. I'm scared, so I want to close the windows. And then I struggle to take my pajamas off. And I'm really trying to take them off, and I end up just taking all of my clothes off. So now I'm on the rooftop naked in the middle of a city, and I hear people making fun of me. And then I look over the roof, and I see a Ferris wheel with business people on it. As the Ferris wheel rises, they're all laughing and looking at me. And then I see three people chatting, walking across roofs nearby towards me. They're just having a casual conversation as if they're walking down the street, but they're walking over roofs towards me. So I quickly get my clothes on and go inside the house. And I go around locking all the windows that are rickety, and the windows are like blowing in this strong breeze. So it's like these old wooden windows that are like clacking back and forth. So I'm trying to close these windows. Anyway, I then hear movement behind me in the corridor, and I shout out to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, is it you? Are you there, Dad?" And then I lean out the door into the hallway, and I see further down the hallway an open door with a light coming out of the room. I then see movement, and then I wake up. And that's the end of the dream.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of layers. It's my onion cake of a dream. There's lots of bits going on.
There's a lot going on. It's very oniony. Jeez, that was terrifying.
That was terrifying. I was thinking, like, I think that would have been one of those dreams that I would have woken up a lot sooner. Because I'm an absolute baby when I have a scary dream.
Right.
I just wake up straight away, just like...
Your body ejects you. It's like, we can't handle this.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fact that you then went into another dream within the scary dream, you just
But I actually, like, properly fell asleep. Like, I don't remember the dream within a dream. I just remember waking up and thinking that was the scariest nightmare I've ever had, and then being drenched in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to go back through it at all? Because I don't know. There's lots of bits.
Well, it started off with your two friends. And do you remember who the friends were? Were they like old school friends or work friends? Or...
It was one of those dream situations where I just knew they were my friends, but I did not recognize them. You know, where you just know someone is someone.
Okay.
So no, I didn't recognize them or know them. I just knew they were friends.
So when we're looking up dreams, we have this very highly scientific book.
Oh yes.
That is basically, we will look up a dream and it'll eventually tell you that it was about penises.
Of course.
But it's highly scientific.
Okay.
So I've had a flick through and I found dead people.
Yes.
Because of the dead body right at the beginning. And it says, dead people we have known appearing in dreams usually refer back to strong emotions we have had about those people, whether they are negative or positive. For instance, there may be unresolved anger or guilt we still hold, and the only way we can deal with it is within a dream sequence.
Oh my god.
That's like,
Jeez.
can't resolve it, it's just kill them off.
Yeah. Mine was a faceless stranger, so does that mean I have problems with just like the general public? Like anyone I
people
come
in
across?
general.
Honestly, the worst thing, the thing that makes me more angry than anything is pavement etiquette. When people don't know what they're doing on the pavement. You know, like
Or on
Or if
rooftops,
people are like
or a rooftop.
strolling along and they're looking on the phone or something, and you're just like, oh, just look where you're going.
Well,
Come
I've
on.
had, yeah, exactly. Well, I've had it like people are walking towards me like a wall of people. It's like you're blocking the entire pavement, and I'm like, shall I just stand here while you just walk into me, this wall of people? Or like, I've had people who like have been standing on the pavement. They've caught my eye as I'm walking towards them. They're blocking the pavement. They're just having a chat. They look at me. I look at them. They don't move. So I walk into the road to walk around them and then back onto the pavement. And it's that kind of stuff where I'm like, yes, you've driven me insane. That is unresolved anger with the general public. That's what I think this is.
I get that a lot with I used to commute in London quite a bit.
Oh, the worst.
And people
geez.
not moving out the way when you were trying to get off of a tube train and just standing there and you're like, where do you expect me to go? Do you expect me to just disperse into
I
gas and
know.
float over you? Like, just move out the way and then you can get on the train.
People in London are just another breed, I swear. Like, I remember one time I was on a train on the tube and I wasn't ready for it to pull off. And I fell over and I landed on a lady. And instead of it being like, oh gosh, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She just didn't say a word. She gave me the biggest stink eye and just sort of went, oh. I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Similar thing happened to me where I was like, it was my first year of uni. I went to uni in London. And I wasn't feeling great, but I didn't know what was going on. And looking back, I think I had swine flu. Remember swine flu?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I think by the time I got home that night, I was like collapsed on my bathroom floor, like just like shivering, trying to get cold because I was hot.
God.
So I think I was pretty ill, but I didn't realise I was that ill. I thought, oh, it's just fresh as flu. Everyone's saying they're getting ill. It's fine. And anyway, we'd gone out to see a film or something in Freshers Week, and we were going back on the train, and we were standing on the train by the door, and it was one of those things where where you feel the heat coming on and you get a bit dizzy. So I go to take my jacket off, and I just at that point I basically pass out and fall forward, and my friend catches me and then moves me to a seat. I'm only out for like a second, and then I come to and he sits me down, and the woman who was in the carriage was like, bloody druggies. And I was like, druggie? I've got swine flu.
Oh.
I was a druggie.
Oh my God. Oh, bloody
I'm trying to
druggies.
look up. I looked up body because I thought about the strange body that your friend had, the headless body. But it's got so many different options that are so weird. Like one of them is an adult's head on an immature body or a child's head on an adult body.
Oh my God.
Like, what if they have no head?
The thing is, it's not
That's
that they
not an
necessarily
option.
had. It was almost like it felt like something was eating it from behind, like his head was being eaten.
Was it
So
like
then
bent back almost?
Yeah, so it's almost like I saw. It's almost like his head was stuck behind the corner, And imagine like something was throwing it into its mouth. It was like I say, from the feet up, it was sort of contorting in a weird, jarring, jittering way. So like the feet, it's almost like imagine a body was standing there with it was leaning back with its head behind a wall, and then the feet rise up in a jittering way, and it just keeps rising, step by step until it's basically horizontal, as if a creature's holding its head in its mouth and it's about to eat it and pull it towards it.
It's like that painting. Is it the Kronos eating his son or whatever?
Oh,
Which
yeah,
one's
it's exactly that? It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's a really good, that's exactly the image, yeah. But there wasn't a hand holding it or anything. It was just like, imagine
just
the hand
like
wasn't
floating.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. The whole dream kind of reminded me. Have you ever like read any of the manga by Junji Ito, like the horror mangas?
I've read
like
a bit. Yeah.
This hole was made for me. Like the whole dream just kind of gave off those vibes. Like just constant stuff happening and like bodies contorting in weird ways. And,
yeah, you're totally right.
like,
I hadn't
it's
thought of
really
that,
cool.
but-
Like just I can imagine it as just a big like horror segment.
Yeah.
Super cool.
The body at the beginning reminded me of this is really no, it's not too bad. But recently, okay, so I really love crows, and I was waiting in Clifton
Crows the
for a
animal?
cafe to open. Yeah,
It's not like a
just
band
little,
or something.
No, just little crows. I just love them. I just think they're cool.
Yeah.
And I was watching a crow, and I started filming it because it was trying to open this little like nut thing that it had found. And I honestly was watching this crow for like 20 minutes and filmed it for half of that. And then I got home and I put the footage into Premiere. And in the background, this is like a winter's day, like 9:30 a.m. in a park. In the background, there's just someone lying on the floor. I was like, oh my God, were they okay? Oh my God. I've not seen any news about any bodies being found, but I just honestly was so unaware that there was anyone else.
It's like that thing where you like, you know, in the horror movies where you take a bit of footage and then you look back at it and there's something there that wasn't there, like a ghost in the background. Maybe they weren't there.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
When you were saying about the like looking away and looking back, I was thinking about that. I was like, there wasn't a body there, was there? Was there?
Actually, God, who knows? Yeah, that was spooky. The sort of, what is it, the weeping angel kind of thing where you
Yes.
close your eyes and then they move. It was exactly that, but a dead body, which I don't know what it would have done when it got to me, just like flopped on me or something. Yeah. That was,
So do you remember any particular like sounds? Like you said there was a lot of wind and stuff like that, but
Well, there's the big roar.
the roaring
Yeah,
and the
the big
screaming
roar
were the big.
too.
Yeah, so it was a roar, and it was I was the roar started when I was in the house looking at the dead body, and I was like, oh, there's something here that's coming for us, and I need to go and save my friend because it's going to get him. But I was so scared to go towards the roaring and go towards the dead body, and the roaring just kept getting louder that I was like, I can't, I have to run. And it was when I left that was when my friend died. So I guess it was like me leaving meant that they got eaten or you know,
oh no.
got killed or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that was accompanied by screaming once the friend died. So it was like, yeah.
See, I was going to say, because it was like Christmas Day, like were there like family around, like in real life, not in your dream? Like,
Yeah.
Were there people around that may have been making, no, I mean,
you doing
noises
Christmas
kind
screaming?
of like that? Were there Christmas screams going on?
Christmas
or was
screams.
the TV left on, you know? The Christmas roar, you know?
That's what we do, yeah. when we
I
get-
wonder if any of them could have influenced what happened in your dream at all.
So it was, there had been family around. I wasn't feeling well, so I'd kind of like kept myself separate from family. But there had definitely been family around the day before. But
Okay.
actual Christmas Day, it was just like 2 or 3 of us in the house, and I was in a separate bit of the house. So I'd be, actually, okay, thinking about it, there are lots of dogs in my family.
Ah.
Maybe there was a dog thing going on.
Maybe.
Although one of the dogs is a greyhound, and they don't really make that dog doesn't bark too.
Yeah, they're quite quiet, aren't they?
Yeah,
If it was like a husky or something, 'cause
Oh,
they
I
can
yeah, that
imagine
would've made a lot of sense.
scream.
that would have made a lot more sense. But yeah, I don't. I feel like if there was a real sound, it might have woken me up. I generally wake up if
Yeah,
there's like
true.
a sound like that happens.
Mm-hmm,
But yeah, it definitely just
This is
felt like a monster.
This has reminded me of a time when, this is going back a while, I think it must have just been after the second Lord of the Rings was released.
Oh, what a time.
And for
What a time.
Christmas, I got given the CD of the soundtrack.
Oh,
And I was so ill that I hadn't been able to eat anything. I was so sad because Christmas dinner is like my favorite meal.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just going to have to go to bed. And I went to bed really feverish, but I was like, I'm going to listen to my CD. And I just remember waking up whilst the CD was still playing and just being terrified because it must have been some sort of like and I was just like tripping balls with fever, just like, what is happening?
God.
Why am I being attacked?
Dogs are attacking.
that's it. Well, they're scary.
terrifying.
Like, terrifying. That was like in Fellowship of the Ring, the big guy who comes out of the mud. He's horrifically scary.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lurtz, was it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Scary.
Lurtz was definitely one of them. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a good fever soundtrack to listen to.
It's quite intense. The Battle of
Yeah.
Helm's Deep with a fever is not what you want.
Surprisingly, there's like nothing about noises in the book. I've looked up noise, sound, scream,
Is there anything
roar.
with like a monster? Because that was kind of the feeling, was that there was like a roaring monster or some sort of evil monstrous presence that was going to eat me.
A monster. There must be monster in here. Let me have a look. How does the alphabet work?
And it was like
Moses.
Yeah, he was in there as well. Yes, forgot to mention him. Yeah, it was sort of like a invisible presence was sort of the vibe I got, even though I was running away from it.
Okay, so monster. It says any monster appearing in a dream is something that we have made larger than life. We have personalized it, so whatever is worrying us appears as a creature. It usually stands for our negative relationship with ourselves and fear of our own emotions and drives.
Ooh.
Okay. I guess I didn't see
Is that
it,
saying
though.
that the monster is you?
I am the monster.
Dun dun dun.
You say that you ran away from your friend too, and they died. So maybe you were the monster after all.
You can say it. I am a monster. Yeah,
You're a monster.
I'm a monster. I feel that's what I feel. I think it was. I also because I felt guilty because it was like I left them. So yeah, it was my lack of friendship that killed them. Oh my God!
Oh, no, it's
Merry Christmas.
survivor's
Merry Christmas
guilt.
all.
But then again, maybe if you had have gone to save them, maybe you both would have got gobbled up. So
True.
maybe it's
Maybe. Yeah.
numbers wise, it was better that you did run. Statistically,
I'm also terrible at texting, and a lot of friends I don't keep in touch with as much as possible. So maybe it's my texting terribleness. I'm leaving my friends
Maybe.
behind.
Yeah, a lot of the time, like with dreams like that, the books that we have and whatever, they will always say like, oh, you feel like you're not keeping in contact as much as you should and stuff like that. So, I mean, it could be that there's like a little bit of that, maybe especially because it was like Christmas. Maybe you sort of subconsciously thought, oh, I should have messaged so-and-so and wished them a Merry Christmas. Or,
That's true.
now they've been eaten by a monster because I didn't.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shit.
I looked at colours as well because it said the colour of the monster is important. But obviously, you couldn't see the monster. But it did
No.
remind me of the black balls that you took out of your head.
Yes. Out of my ear holes.
It says black. This colour holds within all colours. Wait, no, that's not what it says. This colour holds within it all colour in potential. It suggests manifestation, negativity, and judgment. Oh my gosh. That's heavy.
Manifestation. What does that really mean? What does that mean? Manifestation, negativity.
A lot of the time, this book feels like it was written by AI.
Yeah, a lot of dream interpretation resources are very not human.
Yeah, well, I guess they're trying to.
Wait, what?
I guess they're trying to be like as open as possible, so you can read into it whatever you want.
Yeah. It's like a horoscope sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it was like, it felt like there was something in my ears. And I have a thing, which is like my dream. One of my dreams is like, I see a little thread hanging out my ear. I'm like, what's this? And I pull on it, and then just like a log of earwax comes out. And I'm like, oh my God, that was in there the whole time. And now I'm free. And I just suddenly feel like my head is all light and airy and open. So it's like, it was that sensation of like there's something in my ears, so I'm obsessed with like cleaning, making my ears feel clean, you know.
A lot of things about blocked ears tend to point towards like creativity and stuff. I mean, the thing we always say is that every interpretation is completely down to the dreamer. Like, you can't just read a book and be like, it means this. But
Sure.
I mean, we can speculate, but sometimes dreaming about like blocked ears or like blocked heads and stuff can be, you know, your brain's full of ideas. Maybe you've got like creative things that you want to do, and maybe something's stopping you. Or, you know, if you're pulling all of this wax out of your ear, maybe you've got all of these ideas, and you're like, "Damn, I've got so much creative stuff I can do now."
Honestly, that's interesting because I've got this. I started doing animation stuff fairly recently, or like animation has sort of taken off recently for me. But
It's very modest of you. Say what you mean. You're TikTok famous now.
TikTok famous.
I'm famous, you guys. But like before that, there was very much from the age of maybe like 14. From the age of 14, I was like, right, I'm going to be a filmmaker. And from that point, I have always felt that I'm sure a lot of us do, that sort of in your free time, that feeling that you need to be productive or you need to be
Yes,
for me,
definitely.
it's like, so I'm like, well, always need to, I'd sort of set this goal for myself when I was 14. It's like, I'll make a feature film. So I'm constantly like going on at myself. You haven't done it today. You haven't done this today. Why haven't you done this yet? And I started doing animation during lockdown because I was like, well, no one can do any filming or anything. So what can I do? I can make a film in my computer with animation. So I started drawing animation. And I was really trying to get stuff going and nothing was going, and I'd make something and then a few months would go by and then I'd make another thing. And it's only really in the last 2 months that I've started making regular stuff, and I sort of feel that sense of like, oh, it's actually happening, and I have this drive and motivation to actually do stuff. But this was prior to me doing that, and I was like still in that place of like, come on, just do something, make it. So maybe me pulling the things out of my ears in the dream is what released me to make my animations in because I started in January.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my gosh.
You
Have you-
found what was blocking you, and
That's
you
it.
went for it.
And it was
Pulled it all out of your ears and put it on
it was
TikTok.
all oh my god. And then it was ink on my fingers, ink, drawing,
Yes,
animation.
drawing. Yes.
We did it. We solved the dream.
And you were also like, you had like 2 layers of clothing on. Maybe that was like, you know, you being suppressed by all of these things.
Yeah.
But then you got up on that rooftop, you took it all off, you freed yourself, naked creativity. And now you're exposed to the world of TikTok.
Look at me, world. I'm naked. That's what it is. I've just thought of something. I hadn't realised this before. So I draw in my sketch. I have like a sketchbook, and I draw a lot in it with a fountain pen. And the fountain pen, you fill it up with black ink. And I bought this permanent black ink, so you twist it, and it sucks the ink into it. But inside the pen, where the black ink goes, there's 2 little ball bearings.
Little balls.
Oh,
So there's
my
2 little
God.
inky black balls in the pen, and the ink, I reached for them, and then the ink went all over my hands, which would happen if I grabbed those ball bearings.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's to do with
Oh
drawing.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it is to do with like, you know, like being creative and being productive and stuff. Like,
That's really
you know,
interesting.
maybe part of it is like you putting yourself down for not doing enough work, because I feel like every creative knows that. They're like,
Oh, God,
I need to
yeah.
spend all of my time doing something productive
Yeah.
right now, and if I don't, I'm a failure.
100%, yeah. Maybe that's it. I was being
Yeah.
chased. The roaring and the screaming and the monster is being chased by the pressure to be creative.
And then when you finally are like exposed on this rooftop and you've got all these people like judging you and laughing at you, I guess maybe that's worry about like, what if I put something out there and it's not well received?
That
The
is
fact
the
that
fear.
they're business people too that are on the Ferris wheel.
Oh
Like
my God,
people
you're-
that aren't technically creatives, you know, they're like straight cut businessmen, you know.
You're hitting every level.
This won't get it.
I'm feeling this. I'm really genuinely feeling this right now. Because it's like, yeah, I'm with my friends and I want to be, I'm being chased by the pressure. I'm having fun with my friends, but then the roaring starts, which is the pressure to do something. So it's like, leave your friends behind, go and do the work. Oh no, I run away. And then I see I'm afraid, I'm naked, I'm exposed, because when you make stuff, you really do just like put it out there, and often when I make something, you put it out there, you're like, I have no idea if this is any good. And it's kind of embarrassing. Is this, because there's an element of you saying, look, this is good enough for you to watch. And the idea of, serious people judging me for it because the stuff I make is really weird and silly and strange, which I love, but I'm like, what are other people going to think if they're like real proper grown-ups?
Yeah.
And man, you've done it.
Damn.
Freed me.
We've done it. I think we've hit the nail on the head.
Genuinely,
That's good because I was looking up body parts in the book for ears, and there's no ear, but there is half a page on excrement. So glad we solved it without the need for that.
Oh my God. Do you think there's anything to do with like a rickety old house? Because the house definitely wasn't like my home. It wasn't like, when I said I go into my house, I sort of felt that it was my house, but it looked like a sort of old, rickety Victorian, 3 or 4 story house in a city, which isn't where my family house is at all. I don't know if there's anything about like spooky old houses or anything.
Well, it says a house nearly always refers to the soul and the way that we build our lives. The different rooms and parts of the house in dreams indicate the various aspects of our personality and experience. So I guess if we're applying that, it would be something like maybe the dusty old house is like routine and not like it's old stuff, it's not new stuff. Whereas if you want to do something new and creative, you want to get rid of that dusty house and move into your modern fancy thing full of
Not
the
only
good
that,
stuff.
but you said your bedroom was like outside on the roof, right?
Yeah, it was.
Outside of the rickety old house. Outside of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there is a section on bedroom here.
Oh,
And
yes.
It says,
Is it something
The
to do with
bedroom-
Freud?
the bedroom portrays a place of safety where we can relax and be as sensual as we wish.
Oh, lovely. Just a little bit penisy, potentially.
Just a bit.
Yeah, just a little sip.
But I guess if the bedroom is supposed to be a place you can relax, but for me, I was like exposed in the bedroom, like I was seen and there were no
Yeah.
walls and there were no roof. It was like the whole world could see me in my most intimate place.
That makes sense because I guess if it is like that feeling of feeling guilty when you can't relax in your private time, maybe you do feel like it isn't a place to relax. Like, because I used to get that all the time. Like back when I was doing more freelance work, I remember I would sit down and be like, it's my day off. I'm going to play a game. And then I'd load up the game and then I'd be like, I should be looking for work. I'll stop the game now.
Yeah, that's so much pressure.
Yeah, especially like
Yeah.
working from home and stuff as well. Like you said, during lockdown, you did like animation and stuff. Like when you're working from home, you can't really take a day off without thinking, I could just sit down and do work.
Well, yeah, there's no there's no definition.
There isn't, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really like, when you are setting your own deadlines or you're your own motivator, it's very very hard on the old brain to sort of have the sort of free creative spirit and the sort of more productive corporate sort of idea that we have, which is, well, you have to keep doing it and you have to monetize it and you have to make it into something. It can't just be something you do for fun. It has to be like at least for me, it was like a career. You have to move towards a career in that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the fact it was at Christmas as well sort of relates to that a bit, because I personally around Christmas, because you take so much time off to see like family and stuff like that, you do tend to feel a little bit more guilty. Like you're like, oh, it is Christmas, I should take the time off, but also I should do stuff. I can't just sit around and eat chocolate all day, but I probably will.
Yeah.
I think there is like a big thing with, especially like from a streamer or freelance side of things, when there's no like set guarantee thing that you can do that will equal success. So the only variable that you have, the only resource that you have is time. So you have this feeling of like, I just need to put more time into it because there's nothing else I can put towards it. So
yeah. And it's also like any time not
just feel
spent
like-
doing that can feel like money not made that could be made, or something something not made that should have been made, because you have to tell yourself to the tricky thing is you have to convince yourself, because it's true that without the time off, the thing that you make won't be anywhere near as good. If you are working 24/7, it's going to suffer in whatever, especially a creative thing, or if you're streaming and it's all about presenting yourself to people. If you don't take that time to properly relax, then you're not going to have the energy, or you're not going to be able to put yourself out there in the way that you want. So it's like convincing yourself to switch off is so important.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's especially difficult, I think, when when like your relaxation computer and your work computer are the same. God. I guess you get that working from home. So you sit down and it's so easy to do I'll just reply to that email now whilst I'm here, or I'll just do that. And like they become so entwined.
Yeah, it's why I'm thankful that I do work in the office. I work in the OGS office, and like even just I don't live far away, but even just that short walk between home and the office is enough to break your brain up a bit. Like I always thought, I haven't really. I only worked from home during lockdown, and then even then was fairly quickly back in the office. But I always wondered, if I ever did work from home full time, would I have to do something like go for a 10-minute walk each morning just to have that like signal to my brain? All right, work time starts, and then a little walk at the end or something. I don't know, just some routine to break it up. Because I think not having that separation between especially if it is your work computer and your fun computer, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah,
fun computer.
Yeah, it's hard to make that distinction.
Might just get like a little hat. And when it's fun computer, I'll just put the hat on and be like, woohoo!
It's fun time!
It's party computer now!
That'd be good. That'd be real good.
It feels nice to have actually like done. I feel like we've had a few episodes now where we've had dreams and then we've just had no idea what it means. So it feels quite, thank you for actually letting us get to the bottom of something.
Oh my God, absolutely. Like, it does make sense.
It's been so long.
You've done it. You can rest on your laurels now. You've solved a dream. You can go another 6 months without solving another dream. You're fine. But yeah, that sort of pressure of creativity is definitely, it is something that I've put on myself from quite a young age. So definitely haven't really thought about it in that way, but for sure that is a pressure.
And I guess in a way, like, pressure is an invisible monster. Like, it might not have a form. It's just a feeling that is there.
That roar is just the constant voice in your head, like, do work, do stuff, be productive.
You're right. My mind is blown. And it's like, so it's almost like, okay, because at the beginning, if you remember, I said I left my house to go to a smaller house with my friends. And when I was spending time with my friends, the monster arrived. And I left my friends to go back into my house. So it's almost like, I go out to spend time with my friends and it's like, no, don't do that. Go back inside. I was forced back in. But does that mean the monster isn't creativity? It's the pressure I put on myself to do that.
It's you. It's your brain.
I am the monster. That is what you said. I am the monster.
You are the monster after all. I told you.
Oh my God. I'm the monster. God. It's true.
Because I guess there is that certain thing of like, I guess in the way that it, devoured your friend, I guess if you aren't allowing yourself that time to relax and spend time with friends, I guess that is gobbling them up.
Well, there's that thing as well of like, especially, doing the animations I do now, I do it around my normal job, and it's like, if I go to the pub, maybe I'll have to leave early because I can't do that. Or I can't go out and do things because, well, I've got to go and animate. So it's like, when you're like putting that, or even before doing these current animations, I'd work on stuff and I would, turn down social things to go and work on my projects and stuff in my own time. So there is definitely that thing of like, it's almost like the way that the pressure I put on myself, it treats friends and doing anything that isn't making the thing, it treats that as, no, stop that, do this other thing. So that's my pressure, the pressure I put on myself, stopping me from interacting with friends.
Yeah. Oh, blimey.
Woohoo! That's so interesting. I feel so fulfilled now that we've managed to do
I feel free. I'm free of the pressure. Well, no, the the pressure's still there, but actually I feel like I have a healthier
You're
relationship
aware
with
of
it
it.
now. I'm aware
That's it.
of it, and also I currently am using it in a way that allows me to make stuff consistently, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say the nice thing about this is that there is a happy ending. If we had have had this discussion just after Christmas, maybe we would have been in like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
what the
you're
heck?
right.
Whereas now we know that you have your creative outlet and it's doing really well. And you know, screw those Ferris wheel businessmen. Look at what
let's
it's
do
doing.
nothing.
Look at me, I'm naked, Ferris wheel businessman. Look at me. That is what I'm
Naked
doing
and
now.
TikTok famous.
Yeah. That is, yeah. I'm putting myself out there with my little animations. I'm bearing my creative nakedness to the world.
I think that sort of stuff is always like it's such a gamble to show like a new side of yourself, not in the nudity, but in the mind nudity.
Yeah.
Because I get moments like that where, because obviously like there's a difference between when you've got say like a recorded YouTube video where you can cut some of the weird stuff out, or like back when we started this podcast, I was thinking, oh no, like should I remember when I was editing them, I'd be like, I should take this out. That's a bit too weird. Whereas doing live stuff and having like not editing this anymore, I've become a bit more like the other week I was talking about pissing on rhubarb. I'm just like, it's fine. Maybe someone will find it weird and they'll stop listening. Maybe
Yeah.
someone else will be like, hey, me too. You know, I don't mind
that.
anymore.
I think there's also something to be said with like volume, like creating a lot of stuff or putting a lot of stuff out. It becomes easier to put it out than if it's like one special thing. Because for the longest time, my goal was like make a feature film. And I was like, or make a film of any kind, really. And I'd done it when I was younger, but then I'd started work at Yogs, and then a few years went by before I'd made anything. And suddenly it was like, well, the next thing I make has to be the best thing ever, and it has to represent me in every single way, and it has to be like the best thing I've ever made. And the weird thing was that I could go to work because just I making videos at work, easy, no problem, churning out stuff every day. No problem, no block at all. And then I'd go home and it's like, right, my personal project now. And this is the thing where it's like, oh, well, this is me. This is like my whole identity needs to be summed up in this thing I make. So it needs to be the best thing ever. And that's super crippling to any creativity because you can't come from a starting point of like, this has to be perfect because you'll never make anything. You'll stop yourself before you've even started because it's impossible to make something perfect.
Yeah.
If you do get that like good first thing, there's like the awkward second album feeling as well. Like, what if it's not as good this time? So
Even more pressure.
Yeah.
damned if you do.
Thing for me that got me making stuff was partly it was switching to animation, which I'd never done before. So there wasn't that expectation in my brain of you need to be a good animator. I knew I was a bad animator. I'd never animated before. So there was no expectation in my head of being good at it. And then also like trying to embrace the idea of being bad at making something. I was like, just make something bad. And in a way, that's the most freeing creative thing you can do is actively try to make something bad. Because then there's no stakes, there's no pressure.
Yeah, you just end up having so much more fun with it when you take that approach.
And it's like, why do we do this stuff in the first place? It's generally because at some point we were like, this is the funnest thing ever. I want to do this more. And I think, as you become a grown-up and you're like, well, now we have to be serious, so we have to turn this into a real thing. Then that's where that fun side of it gets sort of zapped out of it a little bit. So yeah, trying to be just silly and have fun with it is so good when you can crack that.
Yeah,
I think like now you've said that just brings like so much more meaning to the businessmen on the Ferris wheel because it's like they're doing it wrong. Like it's meant to be a fun thing, and instead
they're in suits.
They're sitting on their suits. They should just be enjoying the ride. Like
they're not where they are. Yeah,
this dream is so good.
Oh my god, there's so many oniony layers to it.
So many layers.
God, yeah. So we got through so much, didn't we? Did we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, my ear hole balls, inky fingers, nakedness. I guess the other thing was the windy shuttered windows. But I guess is that the monster still outside, or is that trying to close the windows to my soul? Is that what you were saying?
I'm gonna look up. I'll look up wind and window. See if there's anything in there about
Yeah. Because I remember it being quite like a horror movie image of, the sort of rickety, thin wooden windows sort of clacking in the breeze. Like a storm or something.
I guess it would kind of be something like, trying to protect it. Like if the house was very rickety and stuff, you don't want the wind like damaging it and like destroying this little shell that you have.
Yeah.
But what does your book say, Bryony?
In dreams, the wind symbolizes the intellect. It will depend on the force of the wind how we interpret the dream. For instance, a breeze would suggest gentleness and pleasure. An idea or concept we have is beginning to move us. A gale might indicate a principle we feel passionately about. So it's like you just had such a creative force. It was just banging at the windows, just like, release me!
Let me in! You had to go onto the roof to free it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It all ties together.
Everything makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I like the dream stuff. I love the idea that you can use it to, because you're sort of answering your own questions, aren't you? It's not that the dream necessarily is trying to tell you anything. It's that you can use it to come up with your own conclusions.
Exactly. It's like when you read a horoscope and you're like, oh, that probably relates to so and so. I have this to do, blah, blah,
Exactly.
blah.
I will
Like, you
have a good
dream.
or bad day. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not that it's like magic. It's that it's a different way of framing your brain for a second.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to look
You
through
just
this
kind of
little hole.
look at your own sort of life and things that are on your mind and you think, oh, maybe, I should have approached it this way. The dream's telling me, to think about something that I've not necessarily thought about today.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do love that because I've been reading my classic Greek mythology recently and reading about stuff like the at Delphi, the oracles there, and how people would go along and they'd ask a simple question and just be like, should I buy a horse? And the oracle would always be like, look to the hill, and when the seed drops, the wind shall make a breeze. And they'd be like, what the heck? And I feel like that's the sort of stuff that your brain does when you're like, I'm sad about this, but instead your brain is like, let me give you a riddle. Like, can you just tell me what to do, please?
No.
Yeah, if your
It's
dreams...
the spiders.
Yeah.
The spiders give us riddles, and that's our dream.
Oh my God, spiders giving you riddles, yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty boring if your dreams were just like a to-do list. Like, okay, here's what you need to do to fix yourself. Try this and this. Like, it would have slightly less impact if you just got told off every night by your brain.
It's just you sitting down with, what's that guy? Is it like Alan Bennett or whatever? Just sitting there being like, well, you're sad about this, and you really should call your mum, shouldn't you? And, well,
Yeah.
I'm
well,
glad that we actually got to the bottom of a dream.
Me
And
too.
It's been an absolute delight having you on, Tom. Thank you very much.
It has been lovely.
It's been so wonderful exploring my brain with you both. Thank you so much for having me.
Splashing around in there.
Splashing
Been
around
lovely.
in my fresh brain. It's been great.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Where on the famous TikToks and the other various projects? Where can you be found?
Well, I'm mostly found on TikTok and Instagram, Tom P. Bates. That's where you'll find my little animations. The thing that spawned from this dream, you will find on my Instagram and TikTok and my YouTube. But my YouTube, they're all Tom P. Bates, or YouTube is Tom Bates. But yeah, go check it out. They're fun and
Definitely
weird.
check them out. They're so good.
thank
so
you.
good.
Yeah, so good.
Bit of fun.
There's a very boopable snoot in there as well.
Definitely.
What, a marmalade?
Yeah. I remember watching the first one, and that's all I could think. I had to watch it like 3 times because the first time I was just like, look at that nose. I was like, wait, I'm actually going to pay attention this time. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
and
thank you so much.
Kirsty, as always.
Thank you, Bryony. And thank you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you, Brian and Kirsty.
Ah. Oh, so lovely. And thank thank you to the spiders as well.
Thank you, brain
for
spiders.
piloting us.
Brain spiders. Thank you for providing us with these delicious dreams.
Yeah.
Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.